Hello guys and welcome back. Ryan Fellows here today with another build video for Gambit. He is the bow staff wielding card expert of X-Men, and today we'll be going over his skills, so rotation, talents, synergies, as well as the gear I currently have equipped, although it wasn't on me whenever I did the cosmic trial because I've since upgraded. But let's get right into it. Alright. On his circle I have his dash. This gives him an attack speed bonus and it removes all crowd control effects. Gets 3 charges like any normal dash except for Nightcrawler. He gets 5 for some reason. He's special. On his X I have wild card. This is just his basic attack that I use whenever everything else is on cooldown, and it throws out a little bit of extra damage here and there through the talents that I've chosen. On his square I have Royal Flush. Throw a fan of cards that pierce through enemies and explode at the end of their path. The damage is nice on this, plus it gives me a 10% damage bonus to ranged powers, which 90% of this build is a ranged build. On his triangle I have Street Sweep. Slam your bow staff into the ground to scorch swaths of enemies in a devastating shockwave, leaving behind a lethally hot wake of energy. Really cool. A lot of damage. It's just brutal. On the back bar on circle I have Trick Card. Throw a supercharged card that explodes, sticks to, and terrifies an enemy. Shortly after, another much larger explosion occurs, clearing the room. Great damage. 3 charges through the talent that I've chosen, and it has a 100% crit chance. For its L2 and X, I have Bow Vault. Basically, I just use this as another leap, a way to get out of trouble if all of my charges are down from my dash. Plus, it weakens any nearby enemies, allowing me to do more damage to them whenever I recover. L2 and square, I have House of Cards. Basically, this is an AoE that slows enemies' movement speed by 40%. Cover an area with a carpet charge cards that damage and slow enemies walking through it. Like I said, shortly after being dropped, the cards explode in unison, leveling anything nearby. And last but not least, on his L2 and triangle, I have 52 pickup, his signature. In a focused display of dexterity, throw an entire deck of cards like a kinetically charged machine gun, detonating them in unison afterwards. You don't not equip their signature, it's their best ability they have. Plus it does 52 hits of 5,000 to 8,000 damage. Come on. Alright, talents. The first one I have is Ragin' Cajun. Trigger a kinetic surge of effect when you hit with any power. Basically anything I do explodes as long as I have kinetic energy. I didn't like this one because not enough damage. Yeah, it increases the rate of recharges, but not damage. And this one increases your max kinetic energy. It doesn't need to be max, it already recovers fairly quickly anyway, so you don't need that one anyways, but you don't need more. Alright, for his next one I have King of Hearts. It gives me more health, health on hit, and health gain 70 per second. Basically just increasing the amount of health I have, and the health I get, it's basically like free lifesteal. You could go with this option. Completely could. It's totally up to you if that's what you want to do. But I didn't like it because it's not like the other ones that I used on Deadpool or on Nightcrawler where I activate my synergy and it restores the health. Plus it's not useful in trials. Maybe once you get out of trials and you start doing cosmic ops or whatever, farming your artifacts, you could unequip this one and you could equip this. Totally viable option, but for your cosmic trial I would definitely suggest this. This one just increases your defense, and I didn't feel like I needed it with the lifesteal that I had on. The next talent I have is Jax or Better. Deadsman Hand and Wild Card, throw a special explosive card every 5th card. Basically my basic attack, whenever I get them off, every 5th card will throw an explosive one, dealing more damage. How nice is that? Alright, so 52 card pickup, it fully restores my kinetic energy and increases the damage of melee powers. Cool, I've only got 3 on there. The rest are all ranged. Didn't want that. Alright, whenever I fully spend my kinetic energy, I would gain red suits. And then the next time it would be black suits. Basically, with the amount of damage I was getting from his melee side as compared to his range side, especially with one of his melee being a dash, I was like, no. Because everything else is ranged, while whenever it was in range, it would be nice to have that extra damage. I didn't find it useful. 3 of a kind. As I said earlier, whenever I was going over the skills, it has 3 charges and it increases its damage by 25%. You can't beat that. Not even with this one. I didn't choose this because whenever I use Bow Vault, I'm trying to get away. Yes, House of Cards would be nice because it would slow them, but I like to have control over my abilities whenever I cast them, which is why I didn't pick that. Bad Erupt deals more damage. It's not even on my bar, so why would I put a talent in there that's not gonna help me out? The last one I have is Ace of Hearts. 52 pickup will periodically throw a fully charged Ace of Spades at a nearby enemy. What Ace of Spades does is it is an explosive card that deals damage based off the amount of kinetic energy you have. And whenever you throw a 52 pickup, this allows you to incorporate 2 skills into one. So I was like, why not this one? This one, Ace of Spades, not on my bar because I'm kind of already equipped here, so it's like I'm getting an extra ability for free. So another one for Ace of Spades, not on my bar because I wanted this one. This one's the way to go. His ultimate, really cool. He gets pulled up by Rogue, he drops down a big AoE doing massive damage, but it's not used in trials. They will not let you use them. For the synergies I had available to me, it's Deadpool, explosive power damage, which kinda nice, but not really why I have it. I have it because I leveled him up, and the 0.25 health regen comes in handy every now and then whenever you're really low. Of course I have my own because it gives me +1 to my main attributes and 5 bonus credits per drop. I mean, who doesn't need more credits? Hawkeye. This one I actually like on here. It gives me 2% movement speed and 3% critical, and critical damage. And since a couple of my abilities have high crit chance, and one of them even has a 100% crit chance, increasing that damage even more, even if it's only 3%, totally worth it. The last one I have on is Nightcrawler, just because I just leveled him up and I have 2 melee powers on, so why not make them do more damage? I also have Wolverine leveled up, but I don't have any claw powers on. But if you're gonna put anyone else on there, I would highly suggest leveling up Squirrel Girl, because you get 4% damage to bosses. Now keep in mind, what I have on here is not perfect. There are, I think, 38 or 39 characters currently on the PS4 and Xbox One, so there's a lot of options you can choose. These are just the characters I have currently leveled up. I'm working on the rest, so it's just going to take time to figure out which ones are best. As always, if you're having trouble in the heroic trials, what you're going to want to do is be tanky. Put on that defense, put on that max health, making you have more health, more defense. You can take a hit better. After the trial, go ahead, reset them, do whatever you want, put them into your main attributes, and you'll be just fine. How do you know what your main attributes are? Why, thank you for asking. You go into your powers and you push triangle. It's on the left hand side under Savate Expert. I get 15% critical hit damage and 4% per fighting or energy. So you're going to want to stack either or, not both, because it only goes off of one of those. So next we're going to go into the inventory. If you push L3 here, you can see your stats. I have 13. Ideally that's not very high, but I haven't been farming gear for him as much as I probably should, considering I'm trying to level up all the rest of the characters. Alright, starting with his catalyst. 150 health when you defeat an energy. Obviously I don't have that on there for that. I do like the bottom two and the +1 to energy. Gain a damage shield to half my health when I use a med kit. That's a no-brainer. It gets me out of a lot of trouble. When you use your signature, gain more defense rating. Why not? Because if I'm using my signature, odds are is I'm standing still the whole time and it's single target. I need that defense. Plus if I can pop a med kit in the middle, I get that shield. Really nice. I have Pyro's medallion. Range attacks ignite enemies on fire for 10,000. Okay, that's just a lot of damage. May not be the best one on there for him, but it's the one I found and I like it so far, so why not? The legendary item I would recommend for Gambit is the Cosmic Control Rod. He already equips a bow staff, plus this one's kind of like that, just a rod. So it does plus 1,200 energy damage rating, critical hit powers to energy powers, or critical hit rating to energy powers, my mistake. You get 2,000 more health, 200 more kinetic, and each enemy hit applies a stack of cosmic energy, increasing your health regeneration by 10 per stack. At 15 stacks, you gain cosmically charged, increasing your damage. Now, with the way that I have Gambit set up with everything hitting and proccing and going off, once I level this up, it will be doing a lot of damage. A lot. Alright, so after I leveled him up, I went ahead and just picked up some cosmic items. They're not the best for him right now, but it's just an idea of what I currently have on. And this one is probably going to stay for a while. Why would you say that? Because when I use my signature, I get +1 to all attributes, including my 2 primary ones, and +5 to energy, which is one of my key primary ones. As you saw, my energy is at 13. Not that high, but working on it. I just haven't farmed the gear. This one, just for the attack speed and the health on hit, kind of helps a lot. For this one, I get another +1 to all my attributes, so that's why this one's on here. This one just for more health and defense. A little bit of vulture wings from the the Spider-Man heroic daily bugle that I got. Alright, for this one, it's on there. This is like my defensive artifact. These are not ideal probably for him, but they're just the ones I had whenever I completed the trial. I just haven't picked up any additional ones yet. So this one's just more or less the defense one, plus it gives me an extra damage to bosses, so I liked it and it helped keep me alive during the trial. Alright, so if you remember on this, whenever I use my medkit, I get a shield. This one makes them weaker, allowing me to do more damage to them. So that's why I kept that one on. This one, not that great at all. Not great at all. It's just on there because I got it and I haven't picked up anything else for him. Relic, ideally you would want one with all ranged powers, with the damage rating 2 range powers, the health, and the +1 to all attributes, so an upgraded relic. And now off to the rotation. Target an enemy like always so that you can be over here, and even if you're looking away from them, it'll target them. You see that pulsing? That is the talent. It's just going to go off and off and off until that ability is done. Alright, so I start with Street Sweep, Royal Flush, and as you saw, Royal Flush gives me a damage bonus of 10% to each ranged powers, which is what? Everything except for my triangle, my circle here, and my L2 and X. Everything else is ranged. So I start with Street Sweep because that's melee. Then I'll go into Royal Flush, do my 3 charges in the back of Trick Card, do that one, and as you can see, my buff was still active. And I only use, see the shield? I only use my L2 and X if I get into a sticky situation and all of my dashes are down. That's the only time I use that, is to get away. Sometimes I'll do it to pounce on an enemy to do more damage, but not likely. So with Royal Flush giving that 10% damage to ranged powers, I'm gonna go ahead and pop my signature as soon as I do Royal Flush. Then whenever that's done, I'll finish up with the square and the circle on the back bar. That will allow me to maximize my DPS, and if the buff falls off, it'll be right at the very end, and I should be able to reactivate it before they explode and deal their final damage. So we're going to get full kinetic energy here so that you guys can see what's going on. Alright. Nope, it's going off over there. Alright, so we're going to start with Street Sweep, Royal Flush, then we're going to do 52 pickup. Get all that damage. And I only do the circle if I have all 3 charges available. Then I'll come back and do the front. Just basic attacking in between. Street Sweep, switch to the back bar, cast down the slow, Street Sweep, back bar, jump if you want. And it's just repeated from there. As you can see, this guy does a lot of damage. Let's go show you guys what he looks like up against some real enemies. Not trials, we're going to patrols. Alright, so the next event starts in 2.5 minutes. See you guys then. You'll get yours someday. Alright guys, the next event has started. So we're gonna make our way up there. I don't know why I'm randomly targeting enemies right now, but okay. Alright. So target.
You hear something sizzling?
The way that everything is working out is ideally you would be able to. Alright, we're just going to target somebody new now.
This job's gonna kill me. Don't mind me.
Okay, target's being broken. Alright, what we're just going to do is ultimate so you guys can see. Boom. Damage. Keep up that buff so that whenever your signature is going, you get that 10%.
You and me, we got some swash in our buckle.
Alright guys, thank you for tuning in. Brian Fellows here. Alright, that guy's trying to come at me. Try this again. Alright guys, thanks for tuning in. Brian Fellows here. So we went over a build for Gambit and what it takes to get through his Cosmic Trials. Don't be shy, feel free to hit that like, comment, subscribe, and share button.